Dawn here at Stickletarn, a small holding in Wales, and I just thought I'd put this video together just to show you a few ways that we control pest damage or reduce pest damage organically around the small holding and sort of other nuisance things. So I'm going to start here in the kitchen because this one is about to be taken down, and that is the good old-fashioned sticky fly trap. Martin loves these because he can see the results of it. I dislike them because I end up catching my hair in them and all sorts. So this is about to come down because we have got ourselves, let me pick it up. This is going to go in the kitchen. A UV insect killer lamp, and this one is rechargeable, so we can take it anywhere in the house. It's going to go upstairs. It's got a rechargeable battery in it, so this one's going to go upstairs because down here, let me walk through this way. I'm going to walk you around and show you the different methods that we use. The magnetic screen. Around about this time of year, I start putting up the magnetic screens. Excuse the noise, I've got the freeze dry going. I have one here on the rear entrance to the house because that door leads through, hang on, if I come here you can see, leads through the boot room, and that back door stays open this time of year, so the dogs are free to come and go. And of course the magnetic screen door, the dogs, they just push through and it closes behind them. So that is very, very effective at reducing the amount of flying insects we have here in the house, as well as moths, flies, bees, wasps, whatever, midges, it does keep them out. I've also got window screens because all our windows upstairs are like these little windows here. So upstairs I have got a similar sort of thing, but it is just Velcro all the way around. But again, it's a very, very fine mesh, and I've got those at the windows, the bathroom window, my sewing room window and the bedroom windows, because them windows are usually left open. Right, let's venture outside. Put my little shoes on. Right, outside, one of the main things that we do, and I've just started hanging them up this past day or so, is the red top fly traps. You have a powdered bait that you mix with water that goes in the bottom. In the red top here, the flies enter, go down through that netting there. I don't know if you know where you can see it. Get inside, and then they can't get out. It starts to become active when it's been hanging a few days with the sun shining on it. So I always hang one here near the bin cupboard, and I start putting them up around the various close nearby the various animal enclosures. The other thing, which they're not baited yet because it's not the time of year yet to bait them, and that is the good old wasp trap. And I just bait them with a bit of jam and water, usually August time, when the wasps start becoming a nuisance. And again, the wasps can get in, very difficult for them to get out. Bees don't go in, it is just the wasps. So that is sort of the main bits around the house. And of course there's always lots of birds, lots of swallows flying around. Swallows of course eat bugs, We've got lots and lots of nesting swallows, and we encourage them to nest around the house, and we leave areas, I'll just show you, leave areas for them to nest in, and once they're nesting we leave them undisturbed. So let's see, where are we? I'll get the roof up there. Right. Just up, where am I? Up there is a swallow's nest. I've got an angry swallow flying around outside here because she wants to go back into her nest. Every year we have them nesting in there. We have them nesting in the barn. So all through the day, right up until when it's gone dark, them doors stay open. We also have lots of bats roosting. So we've got lots of bats roosting in this end bit of the house, and we have bat boxes around the place as well. I don't know if you can see up there, but we've got birds of prey as well scooting around. So we keep lots of wildlife corridors to encourage wildlife, but of course we also have to put our own measures in place so that we don't end up losing everything that we're growing or raising or whatever. So, right, here we go, this polytunnel. You probably can't see it, but there's a screen door. Right, screen door, and that helps to keep out the pests. The brassicas in here haven't been covered yet because they're just about ready to be harvested. Once they're harvested, they'll be out, so there'll be nothing in there really to attract the cabbage whites. And anything I do plant in there which will attract cabbage white butterflies, which are the ones that have the little horrible green caterpillars that eat everything, then I shall cover it with enviromesh. The fruit cage, to keep the birds off the fruit. So again, it's the mesh is wide enough to allow pollinating insects through, but it keeps the birds out unless somebody leaves the door open. Right, young brassicas that have just been planted out. Let me turn the camera around actually. Right, I cover them now as soon as they're planted with enviromesh under hoops, and this will stay on until the end of the cabbage white season, and then I will take it off and allow the plants to sort of grow fully. But it also keeps out all these little insects as well. They just can't get in there. So it is very, very fine, very fine. Right, in this polytunnel, there are various methods I use to help protect various crops. First off, slug traps. Now the thing with slug traps is once you've baited them, I use the dregs of Martin's homemade beer. We keep it in bottles and I use that to bait it with. Or you can just go and buy a cheap beer. Is mound the earth back up to the edge of, if I can get the camera right down, back up of the edge of the trap, because you want the slugs to be able to go up and in. There's no point in just plonking it in the ground and then the slugs can't get in there. So keep that in mind. The other thing in here, let me go around the other side. Oh no, I can show you this one here. Sticky yellow traps, and that catches all the little beasties, and as the season goes on, it's black fly, white fly and other flying aphids all get attracted to it, and I change them quite often as the season goes on, every few weeks. And Yeah, so I usually have a couple hanging in each polytunnel. And as you can see, they're already doing their job. The other thing to help protect the tomato plants, and that is the marigolds. So I do have a big row of marigolds all the way up wherever the tomatoes are planted, and this helps to prevent whitefly attacks. So again, this end of the door I have a mesh door, well, a mesh screen, but it's a wider mesh screen, so it allows pollinating insects through. I don't know how well you can see it here, but I've got it fastened to the door. It allows ventilation through, but it stops birds coming in. Birds can wreck, they can absolutely wreck the plants in a polytunnel. Because this one's been open, I've got it pegged up, as you can see, and usually I just drop that down, cover that door. When I came in this morning, I had 2 broken tomato plants from where birds had come in. So there's that, but also another pest we have is our dog Paige. She likes to go in and eat the vegetables, so I have these plastic brick guards that I just pull across the doorways, and it stops her going in. But it also stops I mean, this time of year I want the screens, you know, I want as much ventilation as possible. Oops, for the polytunnel. These are weighted with bits of wood at the bottom, by the way, just tied on with cable ties. I want as much ventilation as possible, so I want to be able to leave the doors open at night. But then the big problem I have is next door's cats come in and use the polytunnels as a toilet. They also come in and cause that amount of damage to the polytunnel. So everything has to be kept closed off. So again, that one has got a brick guard across the bottom. It's got a screen door, permanent screen door down the far end, and the fruit polytunnel is the same. I leave nettles because that attracts the red admiral butterfly caterpillars. They'll lay their eggs on them, so that keeps them off my plants, so they just go onto them. The fruit tunnel's the same. I do have a mesh that comes down. As you can see, I've got a blackbird in there who's robbing the strawberries. So I do have these mesh screens, which I should remember to pull down every morning, and I don't. A couple of other sacrilege plants planted around the place in various spots is nasturtiums, and the cabbage whites can then go and lay their eggs on them, and they can munch away on the nasturtiums, and I've got various nasturtiums around the place. Mint is a very good deterrent as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, one of the best deterrents we have, which I'll show you a little clip now of it. It's like cold. Yeah, the ducks. The ducks are brilliant, absolutely brilliant at slug patrol. And I don't know if you can see down the bottom, cutting the grass the other day, and the ducks were straight in there getting all the slugs. So keeping the grass short serves 2 purposes. One, it encourages lots of new growth. It deters weeds from setting seed. The ducks can get in there and to do their bit of pest control, but also the mice when I'm down there cutting the other day, mice, there was hundreds of mice and they were running everywhere. So the birds of prey during the day can get any mice that are running around, and at night it means the owls can all come down and feast on mice as well. So it helps to reduce the mice and rat population because they haven't got anywhere to hide apart from the corridors that we leave. So there are some ducks heading down there now. So right, that just about winds up my pest control around the small holding. Yeah, we try not to use any chemicals whatsoever, so we try to do it as naturally as possible and as environmentally friendly as possible. So any other suggestions, please let me know. When we can get hold of sheep's wool, that's very good as well, and I should put sheep's wool around the squashes and pumpkins that are planted over the back when I can get hold of some. In fact, I think I've still got a few sacks of sheep's wool in the barn, because that's the lanolin in the sheep's wool is very good at keeping slugs at bay. Yeah, so that's about it. Oh, and any newly, before I go, I keep saying this, any newly planted up areas where there's fresh soil, and like these little beds here I've been working on. Cats love them. They just love using that as a toilet. I've got seeds in there. That's actually full of carrot seeds, and I've got another one. I've just done some young broccoli plants, and I've got another one on the other end which has got a couple of baby courgette plants in. I do not want cats pooing using my grow beds as a toilet area. So yeah, so they're covered over with brick guards as well, at least until everything's up and growing, and then the course of cats don't bother with it then. I do wish people who get cats would actually think about the damage that they do to other people's gardens, and especially when they're trying to grow their own food. But there we go, can't win them all. Right, I'm going to wind up there now. So any suggestions, pop them below in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions, and I'll try and put some of them in place. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And I'll catch up with you again very, very soon.